So HTML really is one of three major technologies. You have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and they all work together. CSS helps to make your document pretty. HTML is the structure of the content of the document, and the JavaScript is what makes it interactive and functional. So if we wanted to, so I'm just going to show you the basics of all three of those. So we have a tag here, but if we wanted to make it look a little prettier, you can create a style tag, and you can say header. So the way that it works is these are classes, and you can apply this class or these styles to different HTML documents, or excuse me, different HTML elements. So within the header class, I'm going to make the color blue. So color is the attribute for font color, and blue is what will be applied to that property. So in order to actually apply this style, we're going to go to the h1 tag, and we're going to say class equals header. Save it, come over here, and refresh the page. You'll notice the text turned blue. So what we learned here is that you have styles that can be applied to HTML. So this is a class, and we're going to apply this class to the h1. This class is a keyword for a specific type of attribute on the h1 tag. Now, if we wanted to do some JavaScript, let's create a button. JavaScript works pretty well with buttons. So we're going to have a button that says click me. And come over here, you'll notice the button. Now if we want to make that an interactive thing, so we click on it, it doesn't do anything. But if we want to make it interact with the page, we can create a script tag, and we put our JavaScript in here. So we're just going to create a function, call it the clicker. And we're going to run this built-in function document.getElementById, we'll call it header, and we're going to set the inner HTML to clicked. Okay, so then we're going to come back here on the button, and we're going to tie into their onClick. So onClick equals clicker. And then we also need to tie in over here, so the ID equals header. Come over here, refresh the page, click me. All right, so a little bit of explanation. This is a function. We're going to call it clicker. And we want it so that whenever you click the button, so here's an attribute on the button tag called onClick. It's built into the button, and you want to make it so that whenever you click it, whenever the browser recognizes you clicking this button, it's going to perform some action. So the action that we're giving it is a JavaScript function, which we defined right here. Now, all of this information here, this is all built in. So this is a very common getElementById. So what we're doing is we're taking the whole document, and we're going to scan through it. We're going to find the first element that has an ID equal to header. So here in this h1 tag, there's an ID that is equal to header. Then we're going to set the inner HTML. So every single one of these nodes, every single one of these tags has an inner HTML. It's the content that exists between the two tags. So the h1 is a tag, and inside of that, there is more content. And what we're going to do is we're going to set it to clicked. So when we click the button, it will run this function, which will update the header, the text of the header, which we refresh this, click me, and there you see it again. And now this may be a little bit complicated, but it's important to note that any one of these things by itself doesn't really work. If you can be really good at CSS, you can be really good at CSS, you could be really good at HTML, or you could be really good at JavaScript. But really they all work together, so it's it's important to understand all of them. Even if you're going to be like a pro at JavaScript, you still want to understand HTML. And if you're going to be a pro at HTML, then you're going to want to understand the other two. So anyway, this is a pretty basic example. It might be a little bit to chew on with some of that JavaScript and some of that CSS coming in, but this is really just the beginning, just the basics, and we're going to get a little bit more deep as we go forward. If you have any feedback, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next videos.